Agriculture is the mainstay of Kenya's economy.
Tuzai hata corona ikiwa watu wanakula mambo za shamba.
To me, initially when I was getting into this, it was not more of a commercial venture, it was more of a hobby.
But how do you make money from the agricultural venture?
We will do the processing locally here, so that what we are going to ship something which is value added.
Join me, Jackie Moore, Monday through Friday, only on Afarmers Media, where we tell you the story direct from the farmers. So thank you so much for keeping it Afarmers Media. Kama kawa tumekuja tena. Like I promised, I've come a bit earlier today in studio because my guest is a timekeeper. Sijui mnaitonga English timer ama Swahili timer.
We are learning to.
He came a bit earlier, so we have to get this show running. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jackie Kemunto Monyoncho. Leo nimesema hiyo jina lingine nasemangi. Jackie Mo kama kawaida niko ndani ya studio with Bidan Ole Nkatet. Thank you so much, Bidan, for making time to come.
Thank you, Jackie, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. Yes.
For those who don't know you, probably tell us briefly about Bidan. Who is Bidan?
Okay, Bidan Nkatet is a farmer from Kitengela, or rather Masailand, and I am a proud father of three.
Yeah. Yeah, three.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, a farmer and basically a breeder. Yes.
So when you say you're a farmer from Kitengela, you know Masais with animals. Tell us about your farming venture, what exactly you do, and why you chose to do that kind of farming.
Yes, Jackie, like you are very right. Most of us are born with animals, so it's a very natural thing. So from the word go, having parents with animals, you just fall in love with them, and I think I've always wanted to do that, for many reasons. One, for economic factors, and that satisfaction that you get from it. Yes.
So what kind of animals do you keep, and tell us about your breeding and your breeder farm?
Yes. So basically it's cows, a little bit of everything. We have Sewal, Boran, and Flakeview now. And then we have sheep. This is Dopa sheep. And then now we just began on the Boer goats. Yes.
So today in the show we'll be talking about tips of starting an agribusiness, and Bidan is one of the farmers who I believe has turned his farming venture into probably a business. For those who don't know, Bidan imports the Dopa sheep from South Africa. How did you get to know that you can, why did you first of all decide to import?
Okay, to answer your question, we decided to import because they have very good breeds. For those who know, you know that South Africa are doing, a wonderful business in breeding. A very good example is the Boran cow, which is originally, it's a Kenyan breed, but you'll be surprised. They improved it, and they're selling it, they're exporting into every other part of the world. So basically we decided to import because they have better breeds than us. I think they're the best when it comes to Dopa now.
So before you got into Dopa sheep farming, what kind of breed were you breeding? Were you rearing before?
We were just doing the local, that is the Persian sheep, or popularly known as the blackhead Maasai. And yeah, they are good because they are quite resistant, but again their growth rate and of course the weight is much less, so it's a little bit uneconomical. Yes. So
when you started the Dopa sheep, how many did you import from South Africa? Take us through the process of importing. How much does it cost?
So we didn't really start by importing. We were just bringing from like Kipia or Nanyuki. They do quite some good Dopa there. And then we reached to a point that we decided to start importing our own. So far we've done 2, and they've done a good job. Yes.
Take us through the process of importing. Do you go to South Africa yourself?
You can decide to go and pick it personally, or still do it online. So basically it's a little bit kind of a long process. The bureaucracy, it's very unfortunate. This is Africa. you know, these boundaries or borders should be wide open, but unfortunately, there's still a lot of bureaucracy. So there's quite a little bit of paperwork. That is, you will first need to get an import permit from the authorities. That is the livestock department at Kabete. It's not such an expensive thing, and then after that you will send an invoice to the other farmer on the other side, and then no, actually he sends you the invoice, and then that's when you'll be able to do the transfer from your bank maybe to his account, and then the animals are put into quarantine.
What?
Yes, for 21 days. You will pay for what, testing, blood test and all that, and even feeding.
So you're the one who's paying for all the?
Yeah, you actually get an invoice with all these details, including the doctor, you know, even the feed that they are fed on during this time on quarantine, and then after that so you'll pay the whole amount, even the air bill and all that, and then after that they ship it to you to the destination, or rather the destination country, and then you can pick it there from there. Yes.
How much does it cost to import?
Oh, it is fairly an expensive thing. An animal that is a ram or a goat will cost you roughly 200,000.
One.
Yes.
Animal.
Yes. So, but you can, if you import like a number of animals, you know, 7 to 10 or more than that, it might come down. So we encourage people to, you know, come together as farmers who want to import, and then you can do it together because you'll be able to share the cost. Yes.
Hey, that's very interesting. You've also talked about goats, and the last time we visited your farm, you were doing boer goats. Have you improved them, Mama? You're still with the boer goats?
In fact, I have just received the first bunch from this boer bucks, and they're very good. Although, you know, I don't know how to put it, but you know, I'm getting a lot of response that I cannot even deal with.
The demand is high, like people want to buy.
It is very high. The demand for boer goat is extremely high right now. And Jackie, I should tell you this one, I guarantee you, you know, the next few years from now, you will have a lot of boer goats in this country. Yes.
From Bidan's farm.
Yes, hopefully.
So talk about the challenges that you faced in your animal, let's say animal farming.
Yes.
We are currently in the middle of a pandemic. How is the market? How does the market look like? And what challenges do you face as a farmer generally?
Yes, to be very frank with you, you know, we don't really feel the COVID issues so much, but the normal, very normal challenges in a farm are always the same. So the biggest here, at least in Kajiado, is the drought. We all know that it affects the pastures, and animals require pastures. So I would say the biggest challenge is the pastures, and this is mostly during the drought. But this one can be mitigated. I mean, you can bale hay and all that. And then, of course, there are diseases there. And mostly after, like, for example, after the long rains, we had a lot of issues, you know, PPR. We always have the CCPP. It's a major one in goats. So, but again, you can vaccinate regularly. You have to be very careful on vaccination. Again, unfortunately, I don't know whether I should say this on a third world country. Sometimes we get, you know, vaccines that are not quite worthy.
Really?
Yes. Maybe because sometimes we lose electricity all the time in this country. So you can buy vaccines that are retarded. Yeah. So, but we get along with these challenges. I mean, there's always challenges everywhere. Yes.
And do you get support from the government? Like you're one of the farmers who intends to put up a breeder farm. That's why you've even gone to the extent of importing the animals. Do you get support? And how are you working probably with the county government in assisting you in your farming venture?
To be honest with you, Jackie, we don't really get. It's very unfortunate. I mean, farming and especially livestock farming. I mean, we feel like we contribute as much as any other farmers. I mean, coffee or miraa or you know, but unfortunately, I don't know why livestock farming is not given. I mean, everyone has a, would love to have choma or some meat on their plate. And I believe it brings in a lot of money. I mean, we even export meat to Arab countries and all that. So, but to answer your question, we don't really get much support. We are beginning to see a little bit of support from the county government. I mean, sometimes we see vaccines and all that, but it's still, very little. Yes.
Talk of the markets. Where do you sell your meat currently? And if someone wants probably to visit your farm, where can you be found?
Okay, the markets, again, there's always a ready market for meat. So there are a lot of markets here in Kitengela, in Kiserian, Isinya, Rongai. I mean, there's so much consumption of meat in this town, and they have a large population. So we have no problem with the market. In fact, personally, I sell them from my farm. I mean, customers will always come there, although I specialize in breeding, so it's mostly breeding animals. So there's always a ready market for the animals. And a lot of people are getting into it.
How many animals do you sell per week?
Roughly two, but at a good price.
Have you emotionally gotten attached to your animals? Like when you're selling it, you feel like, oh my God, you're going to be killed today.
Definitely. I mean, every other animal farmer will tell you that you get to very attached to some of these animals, but you really try to. Yes.
Your story, Bidan, is one of a very inspiring story, because I've talked to some few young people within Kiserian, and they always attribute their success to you. What motivates you and what pushes you to bring more people, especially the young boys and men within your area, to venture into livestock keeping?
Jackie, I'm very glad to hear that. Because it's true, I'm also beginning to feel, to realize. In the beginning, I was just doing it for myself, but I'm beginning to notice that a lot of people are looking up, to me, and a lot of young people, especially young people. I really feel well when I find out that I am inspiring young people. So, yeah, I mean, it just started, and it pays. And it keeps you busy. A lot of young people are getting into very weird activities. From where I come from, there's a lot of land sale, and I strongly believe that if you can do farming or use the land, it's much better than disposing it. Yes.
We're also seeing Maasais are getting into agriculture, crop farming.
Oh yes, and like I was telling you before the show, I'm actually I've just started diversifying a little bit, and now, apart from animal keeping, I'm also doing agriculture now.
What has motivated you?
Honestly, my motivation was I wanted to grow my own food. There's so much drugs being, put into food, chemicals now. So I've always wanted to grow my own food, that I'm sure about. But I did bigger than I had planned, so I will definitely have to sell a little bit of it.
What?
Yes.
What are you planting?
Oh, now we started with the yellow beans. We are irrigating, flood. It's a new technique that is done, south parts of Kenya, that is Loitoktok. I had visited those places. So, we decided to start with beans because it's less complicated. And then as we learn, and then in future, I'm sure you will see what we'll do.
So have you mechanized your farm? Do you know how to even hold a djembe? Because you with the sticks.
To be honest with you, I don't really enjoy digging. When you're used to working with animals, in fact, it is therapeutical to me, just working with and watching animals feed. But I have people that do that for me.
So you dig.
Yes.
You've not mechanized. Now, how would you probably talk to other farmers on how they can transform their farms into a business? Because most of the farmers, like you, now you've started crop farming and you're doing it for your own home use.
Yes.
Most of the farmers start their farming ventures as a hobby.
Yes.
But what can you tell farmers when it comes to transforming their farms into business?
That is actually I think that is the biggest problem with farming probably in this country or around this area. Because in the past, I mean, from my people, or rather Maasai, we kept animals for prestige, and it wasn't really a business thing. So there was no room for improvement. So I highly recommend, or rather encourage, people to start seeing it as a business, and that way you will be able to improve. I mean, and you will get something at the end of the day. I mean, yes. So it is very important. It is very important that we start doing these things as business. Yes. So
talk to the Maasai farmers. You are one of the farmers who have diversified. And what can you tell the Maasai farmers who are still depending on their livestock as a way of living?
Yes, like you said it, I'm just one of them. There are quite a number. In fact, some of them are doing much better than me. Although I'm very happy with my pace. So I would really encourage my people to, utilize our land and in good ways. Let's do cultivation. Let's get into, serious animal keeping and improve our livestock. There is a very big room for improvement. And if we improve, you get better quality. I mean, you get weight and faster growth rates. Yes.
We usually know Maasai wako na pesa mingi sana. How much do you sell? How much do you sell one cow? Sasa unauza 2 kwa wiki.
Hawana pesa mingi sana, but it all depends on the quality of the animal. So I am selling like weaned calves at around 70,000. That is the amount you will get for probably a 5-year-old, cow. So you're able to cut probably 4.5 year. So that is much better. Instead of waiting for 5 years for you to get this amount, with better breeds, you get your money fast. And yeah.
The last time we talked, there was that challenge of drought, and most of the Maasai had taken their animals, walikuwa wanatembeza sides za Mali, they talk. Is that challenge still there? And how are you handling
it's probably
the issue
getting worse. I mean, with more and more people coming and more space being taken away, the drought gets severe, more and more severe. So, but it's very encouraging because a lot of us are I'm beginning to think that you can bale, or rather make your hay and then keep them for future use. So it's very encouraging because a lot of people, and it's very important. Like I told you before, animals equals good feed.
Yeah.
So without pastures, even with the best animals, you are as good as not. Yes.
So the animals that you keep, are they only for meat? Nowadays you're also diversifying to dairy farming?
Personally, I prefer beef, or rather animals. I might get into dairy in the future, but I find milk quite taxing to animals.
What?
Yes, I mean, milk is blood, so the more you have from an animal, the weaker they get. So you might need to do intensive feeding, for.
But comparing the feed that you put for fattening the beef,
yes,
isn't it a lot
it is not
than the one for dairy?
It is not. Beef animals are quite hardy. You very little or no supplements. For example, Boran cows is quite an underrated animal or breed. Borans are superb. I mean, very little. You can even leave them, to roam in the wild, and they will do perfect. So, you know, you put less and get a lot, instead of putting a lot of effort and get a little bit of milk. So personally, in my opinion, they're much better than, I mean, you put very little effort to beef animals. Yes.
Thank you so much, Bidan, for making time to be with us today.
Yeah.
Probably talk to the farmers out there. What message do you have for them? As even we plan to come to your farm so that you can show the other farmers how a dopership looks like. You know, there's some who just see sheep and they think it is just the normal kind of sheep.
That is very true.
Yeah, what message do you have for farmers as we come to an end of our interview?
So it is very encouraging because, I mean, we are seeing a lot of people, even from Nairobi, even from offices, coming back to their farms. And that means that farms are probably better than previously thought. You know, in the past, there was this idea that farmers are, you know, probably dirty people, and so everybody is beginning to realize that it's quite lucrative, and that is true. I mean, because it's a matter of food and everybody consumes food. So I highly encourage, especially young people, and instead of waiting or tamarking for years, find a place to do something. Even without land, you can lease land and do this.
Yeah.
Yes, it's growing very rapidly, agriculture now in this country. I just wish we get in a, you know, better support from our government.
Yeah, very true. And if someone wants to visit your farm, probably to see the sheep and the animals you have,
now,
where can it be reached?
So basically, I'm from Kitengela. I can direct you from there, or Kiserian. I'm just somewhere between there. And I am having a lot of these visits. I'm beginning to find a way of trying to discourage it. But then again, at the end of the day, it's quite satisfying to teach people. It's one of the things, like you said, that encourages or rather motivates me to know that you are teaching or something or giving back to the society. So you can always find us on Facebook, Ole Nkatet Bidan, and then from there we can interact. Yes, I'll be more than willing to help. And I've done it, I mean, online. People that I do not know, I've given them my best advice. Yes.
If I want to buy a doper sheep, how much can it cost me?
So doper sheep rams, mostly we sell rams. A little bit of ewes once in a while. Roughly between 35,000 and 40. These are really good ones. You might get cheaper ones, but the quality will not be guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, there you have it. We've been with Bidan Nkatet, one of the farmers, livestock keepers within Kitengela. He's joined us on set today, and we'll try and make time visit his farm so that we can bring you pictures inside his farm where the animals live.
You're more than welcome.
Have you constructed like a nini? What was the name
pen?
of that? Yes, a pen. No, there's a Kiswahili name I wanted to use, but a pen for your animals.
Kiswahili is a bit hard, but yes, we have a shed. I mean, animals require shed, especially, mostly because of the rain. Yes, so when next time you visit, you will see.
You'll see the pen.
Yes.
Sawa, thank you so much. And you're still watching and listening to the Evening Farm Drive with me, Jackie Mo. We'll be taking a short break. When we come back, we'll take you inside the Grace Rock Farm, where we had an interaction with Grace Mwihaki Njehu, Grace, and the name of the farm and the owner, Zindakazi Naendana. But we'll be taking you inside the Grace Rock Farm. So keep watching Afarmers Media. We'll be right back.
Thank you very much, Jackie.
Agriculture is the mainstay of Kenya's economy. Juzai hata corona ikiwa watu wanakula mambo za shamba.
To me, initially when I was getting into this, it was not more of a commercial venture, it was more of a hobby.
But how do you make money from the agricultural venture?
We will do the processing locally here, so that what we are going to ship something which is value added.
Join me, Jackie Mo, Monday through Friday, only on Afarmers Media, where we tell you the story direct from the farmers.
Well, thank you so much for joining us in another edition of Afarmers Farm Visits. And today, as you're seeing me, I'm at the gate of Grace Rock Farms, Join me as we get to learn about seedling propagation and get to hear the story of Mwihaki, one of the women of power who is doing it great. And I mean great in the agriculture sector. Join me, Jacqueline Kemunto, as we get into Grace Rock Farm. So thank you so much, Mwihaki, for giving us time and inviting us to your farm. Tell us briefly about yourself, where you started from, how has the journey been? First introduce yourself and then take us through the journey.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Mwihaki Jeho. I love farming. Let me start by saying that. But I seriously started farming about 5 years ago. I am a chemist by profession. I worked in the manufacturing industry for many years, 20-something plus. And but I've always had a passion for farming. So when the way you set goals that you say when I'm a certain age I would want to retire and do my own whatever I enjoy doing. So I really wanted to do farming. So 7 years ago when I retired from my full-time job and I started a bit of farming. But that time I was doing it more like a hobby. But 1 year after I retired, I realized that I would need something that would give me an income. And then I decided to try and do the farming as a business. So before I had some greenhouses where I was growing tomatoes, capsicum, cucumber, and I was selling. I was making a little money, but I didn't know whether I was making money, losses, or profit. So then when I decided now to do it as a business, I started doing my recording and capturing all the costs. Only to realize that indeed I was not making any money. So, and at one point I actually almost gave up and said, I just wonder whether there's money in farming. But then a mentor of mine really told me there's money in farming, and if I do it properly, then I'll be able to make some money. I now, fast forward, we are now, Grace Rock Farms is a seedling raiser. Where we have a commercial nursery for various vegetables, and we recently went into fruit tree seedling, and now we are embracing the technology of starting tissue culture. But how I came into seedling is because when I was doing the greenhouses, I realized that there was a gap and there was not too many people doing quality seedling. And whenever I needed to plant my capsicum and I would buy hybrid seeds which are expensive, I would put them onto the nursery bed and I would get maybe 50%, 60%. But then I read a lot about the technology of soilless media and I came to realize that you can actually achieve high percentages, and I started doing it for my own greenhouse. And then my friends would say, oh, you are doing seedlings, then you can plant for us, you can propagate for us. And one by one I started propagating. The rest is history. We now became propagators.
Very interesting, from a manufacturer now to a seedling propagator, any professional seedling propagator. How has the journey been? Let's not even look at how you got into the seed. How has the journey been? You said sometime you even felt like giving up. What kept you going?
Actually, I must say, okay, first I even struggled with the identity. Coming from the manufacturing industry, I had gone up to, I was working for multinational as a supply chain director. And then coming down, and when people ask you, what do you do? And you're like, am I a farmer? And you'll just say, yes, I'm a farmer. So even that I struggled with a bit on introducing myself and really rating myself as a farmer.
Yeah.
But the minute I overcame that challenge, then it was easy, because then I was proud of what I was doing. And I was able to say, yes, I'm a farmer, and I'm trying to make farming as a business, and I started keeping my records, and therefore, and I know I was very confident that I will make some money in the farming. It hasn't been easy. You might see a propagator like Grace Rock and think we started here. We actually didn't start here. There are times that we would, and one of the biggest challenges that our farmers don't run anywhere. So at the beginning we thought that we would get orders. Farmer will come order, and 6 weeks later or 4 weeks later they will collect their seedlings. Only to realize that a farmer comes and say, I want my seedlings now. I want them tomorrow. I can't wait for 4 weeks. Therefore we started trying to see which are the varieties that the farmers like, and we started planting them beforehand. So that when a farmer comes and say, I want it today, I want it tomorrow, then we have some. But that also has its own challenges, because at some point seedlings have a very short shelf life.
Yeah.
If a tomato seedling is ready, you have only a window of about a week, max 2 weeks. So we lost a lot of seedlings. So we would plant, farmers will not come, and we would throw away the seedlings, because we don't have enough land to say that every seedling that is not potted we go to plant it in our farm. So that was one. And then the technology is not as simple as people think it is. There's a lot of knowledge in how to grow a quality seedling. The media that you use, how you treat your media, how you do your watering, how you do your crop protection, how you harden the seedling. It's all quite a complex process. And at the beginning we thought, we know how to do this thing, only to realize, sometimes we don't produce very quality seedlings. Sometimes we do seedlings that they are not uniform, sometimes the germination is not good, until I realized that unless you do this thing as a business. I done my master's in quality systems, and I thought that quality system was for the multinational. Only to realize that I can actually put the quality systems in my farm, have procedures, make sure that you have, the way you planted the seed yesterday is the way you plant it today, is the way you plant it tomorrow. So we started writing our procedures, training our workers on how to do consistent process. So that helped. Yeah.
There's a woman out there who is watching, and she's thinking seedlings is something they're used to. It's very simple. How did you go about coming up with that brand name, Grace Rock? Then you decided you won't do this kind of farming at you're planting you're doing seedlings for farmers. How did you come about choosing that kind of venture?
The choice of the venture is probably because sometime in the journey, like 2 years, 3 years down the line after I started, I actually attended a course at USIU that was sponsored by a foundation called Goldman Sachs, and it was a 6 months course for women. It's called 10,000 women. The idea is that in 2020, they wanted in 2020 that they would have trained 10,000 women in agribusiness in Africa. So they had a program that was sponsoring at USIU, and I attended that. Part of what the program contained is that you will be attached to a mentor who will take you through business processes. So they really growed us and said you must have a target. You must know where you want to be in 5 years' time. And from then I started writing the goals and the objectives and what is our mission, why are we here, and that, I must say, really helped. In fact, part of the eligibility of joining that is that you are doing a business of 10 million plus per year turnover. By then, Grace Rock was not anywhere near that. So I actually managed to convince them that in another 5 years I'll be there, and they accepted me on those grounds. So then we did our growth plan, we did our marketing strategy, we did our product identification.
So all that time you were just you alone, or you and the mentor and a few other people?
Me, the mentor, and we also formed a big network of the women who are in one class with us. And they were doing various businesses, different businesses, because the principle is the same. Sometimes people think that agribusiness is different than other businesses, but you must treat it like any other business. You must invest enough. You must know how much, and not to overinvest. You must know how much to invest, because if you underinvest, then you are likely not to get what you want. I must say also, at the beginning, I also thought, investing, if you have capital, so I had some money from my savings, and I threw it in. And actually, when I needed to get back to business and really focus on the business, which is about, I would say, 4 years ago, I actually had to go and borrow, because I'd already finished all the savings that I had. So I went borrowed, and now with confidence, with my numbers, and the bank was able, this is AFC, the bank was able to see that I would be able to repay. So I actually, now when I went straight, I started with borrowing money, and I'm still paying. I'm still credit worthy. They are able to give me more money when I need to invest. Yeah.
So let's talk about the technology that you have employed in your farm. talk about it. You've said it's soilless. What kind of technology have you used?
For those who did farming when they were young, you remember our mothers used to have a nursery bed. So if you wanted to do cabbage, you'd buy your seed, put it in a nursery bed, cover it with some hay, and after some time they would germinate and you'd go. But that has its challenges because first the soil could be diseased, and then your germination percentage is not certain. So when you wanted to plant an acre where you need a kilo of seeds, you actually planted 2 kilos because you will know that you lose 50% or 40% of those seeds. So the soilless media is one that you use a material that is specifically manufactured to grow a seedling. It is not compact, so the seed is able to germinate because it's loose. And what mainly we use is cocoa peat. Cocoa peat is made from coconut shells, and they are grinded and made fine, and therefore the seedling is able to germinate easily. Once it germinates, then we use trays. So you put only enough in that tray hole. I should have brought a tray. But anyway, and when it's ready, the root system is all nicely formed, and you don't lose any root hairs. When you put it in a nursery bed in the soil, when you pull it out, you leave all your root hairs there. And you know that when you go to transplant your seedling, the root hairs are the ones that get into contact with the soil, and they're the ones that absorb the nutrients from the soil. So when you lose some root hairs, then your seedling gets a shock when it goes to the field. And within your first 2 weeks, you are nursing it. But when you've planted with the soilless media, all your root system is whole. And once you go and plant it, tomorrow you come and it's that seedling has been there for 2 weeks. So there's no shock, and you save on time. The other thing that we do when we are growing in the soilless media is that we use a root enhancer so that the root structure is strong, and once it gets transplanted, then the crop is able to grow easily and from a good solid base. Yeah.
So when you're not using soil, okay, in the olden days, our parents used to plant their seeds with manure. I don't know, they put a fertilizer. Now when you use soilless, how do you plant them without do you put manure?
Not
for those who don't know,
because we've done a little biology. When the seed is germinating, the seed already has nutrients within itself, so it actually doesn't need a lot of nutrients to germinate. So it germinates with the already stored energy in itself. It is after it germinates that more probably you need to add some foliar feed to strengthen the leaves, so that now the crop can start feeding from the leaves. So you don't use manure in the trays, and it is completely soilless. No, you don't add any soil in that media.
I am the manager of this farm. Grace Rock Farms, majorly we deal with seedling propagation. That's our core business. But again, we have some other enterprises. We have some greenhouses that we use as demo greenhouses for training of farmers. Apart from training, we use them as something to demonstrate to a farmer, maybe a new farmer who want to see how a certain crop performs. So we use such to train them. We also have the open fields, some demos in the open field. Also those ones we use for training and also to demonstrate to farmers, to show them the different varieties of seedlings, of crops, and how they perform. So I'll take you through our processes, and we start from here. Our media, we use the soilless media called the cocoa peat, and that's what we use to raise our seedlings. And we raise our seedlings in trays. in some form of trays. The advantage of using the cocoa pit over maybe say soil is because firstly this cocoa pit is treated. But the cocoa pit is made from the shells of a coconut that have been crushed and grinded. So the advantage of using cocoa pit is because cocoa pit is treated and is free of diseases, like when you compare to soils. The soils, our soils have been infested by diseases and pests. So cocoa pit is very clean and it's very conducive to raise seedlings. Again, cocoa pit, if you look at the structure, it has a very good structure. This helps in the drainage, in the aeration, and maybe in the root development. That's why we decide to use cocoa pit against using other medias or maybe the soil. I want to demonstrate to you how this process is done, or maybe how this seeding process is done. So we have a tray. This tray, this is where we come and put this cocoa pit to make sure that it's full, it's level. So this is how it's done. So yeah, now you make sure that the tray is full of cocoa pit. Now from here, it's now taken to our planting shed. Here, just put one tray on top of this one with the cocoa pit. Then you press. Do the pressing. Once you press like that, the holes, the shallow holes, come automatically. Then from here, now we come to our seeding. So after you've made the shallow holes, now you take your seeds and plant one by one, and make sure for every hole only one seed gets in, because you want to get a very good seedling. When you put too many in one hole, the ones that will come out will not be very strong. So you must make sure that every hole gets one seed. Today what we're doing, we are planting onions and spinach. Our seeds are pre-treated before we buy. We buy them from certified seed suppliers around Kenya and around Kenya and within. And they are pre-treated. You see, they have a coating. Most of them have a coating of different colors. This coating prevents the seeds from any attacks of diseases or pests. So yeah, now you make sure that the tray is full of cocoa pit. Now from here, it's now taken to our planting shed. Here, just put one tray on top of this one with the cocoa pit. Then you press. Do the pressing. Once you press like that, the holes, the shallow holes come automatically. Then from here, now we come to now our seeding. So after you've made the shallow holes, now you take your seeds and plant one by one, and make sure for every hole only one seed gets in, because you want to get a very good seedling. When you put too many in one hole, the ones that will come out will not be very strong. So you must make sure that every hole gets one seed. Today what we're doing, we are planting onions and spinach. Our seeds are pre-treated before we buy. We buy them from certified seed suppliers around Kenya and around Kenya and within. And they are pre-treated. You see, they have a coating. Most of them have a coating of different colors. This coating prevents the seeds from any attacks of diseases or pests when it's germinating. Now we move our seeds, our trays to our germination room. Yeah, I think let's just go to the germination and see what happens there. So this is our germination unit. Actually, at times we call it the incubation unit because it's for seed incubation. So inside here is after planting, this is where we bring some of our seeds. Like I said, there are those seeds that have a high dormancy rate. Say like seeds like capsicum, like onions, or maybe even some tomato varieties. So inside here, as you can see, we have tried to just innovate the way we do. We cover with a polythene. Once the trees, as the seeds are planted, we water, then we bring them here inside here, and we cover them with these polythenes. The purpose for covering with these polythenes is to make sure that we maintain high humidity inside here, and the temperatures should be very high. And that way we enhance the germination of some of those seeds, like capsicum, like I said. Like here we've just innovated and made some shells. We have two on each side, and you can see we have covered them with completely. They should be like airtight. We have covered them with this polythene. Yeah. So from here, for example, capsicum. The capsicum varieties take 10 to 14 days inside here. When it comes to things like onion, it takes like 3 to 4 days, or maybe 3 to 5 days. The same with tomatoes, and the same with cucumbers. But for those other seeds, especially the brassicas, the cabbages, the broccoli, the cauliflowers, those ones we take them directly on the seed beds in our stock house. From when the seeds have started germinating, we check very frequently. Like every day we have to check which ones are germinating. When they have started germinating, now we move them from this germination room now to our stock house. This, I call it the stock house. It's our greenhouse that we have our seedlings that are available for sale. So here is a tree that just came from the incubation, or maybe the germination room. So like this is onions. After from the germination, we bring it into this greenhouse and onto the beds.
if you look at this greenhouse, we try as much as possible to arrange them according to their ages. This is because we are watering. We are trying to automate our watering, and every crop at every stage has different water requirements.
We propagate a wide range of seeds from like you do tomatoes. Maybe you have your own variety of tomatoes that we don't sell, or maybe that we don't stock. So you have an option of bringing your seeds, and then we propagate for you. We have also capsicums. We have cabbages. We have the varieties of kales. We have broccoli. We have cauliflower. We have things like lettuce, Chinese cabbage, red cabbage, and among others. So that one, every crop has a different rate they charge because of the time it takes in the nursery. Like you find out for capsicums, the rate is a bit higher as compared to those others, like maybe say of Chinese cabbage or maybe these other leafy vegetables like kales and spinach. This house, like I said, we use it as a where we set aside customer orders, and like you can see here, you can see around we have a lot of tags that look like this. So like here, the details of the tag. When you come into our office, we record your order, we put it in our system, then we issue it to our nursery people, and this is the process whereby this tag has got the order number. It has got the variety, like if it's tomatoes, then it have the quantity. At the back of it, we have the date of planting and the expected collection date. So when the collection date is due, that's when we come and call our farmers so that they can come and collect. But basically, what we do, we try as much as possible to inform our farmers a week before their orders is ready, so that they start preparing their lands and also their mindset, and also organize on logistics on and when to collect their orders.
Well, that has been one of the many farm visits that you usually make from Afarmers Media. I hope you've learned a thing or two from Mwihaki, one woman of power who is making it great in the agriculture sector. We've also learned about seedling propagation using cockpits, and I hope you've learned so much. The way I've learned, I've also been shown dwarf oranges. Did you know they are dwarf oranges? From Afarmers Media, I've been your host, Jackie Kemunto. I'll see you again in another farm visit. Thank you so much, Steve, for having us.
Karibu, karibu. I wanted to talk a little bit about our latest technology, which is the potato tissue culture. What I'm holding here is a mother plant. It's a Shangi mother plant. The mother plant comes from a platelet that we buy from a tissue culture laboratories and develop it and harvest the seedlings so that they can become potato. So this is a mother plant that is about 2 months old. So we have done some harvesting from here, you can see, and what we mean by harvesting is like we would harvest, this is a platelet, we would harvest another one. This one will probably give us about 10 of this. So this then will be grown into a media and into a tray like this, and after 4 weeks this will be ready for transplant into the farm. So that will be planted and watered, and some foliar feed given and care taken in terms of disease prevention. So we do crop protection. We have a protocol of how we do the disease protection, and once it's ready, it looks like this. So this is your potato seedling. This seedling is ready for transplant. Once you plant it in your farm, then this seedling is able to give you between 12 and 18 tubers. The roots are very well formed, and we don't have any root being left on the media, because the media reserves
the way the structure of the root is, and you can see all the roots are there, including the very small root hairs. Those root hairs are the ones that prevent the seedling from getting shocked once you go and transplant. So to plant your potato, you plant it like the way we plant the potato seed tuber. You do your furrows, and between a line and a line will be 75 centimeters. Between a crop and a crop is 30 centimeters. You plant it, and then after 2 weeks you heal it, and after 1 month you heal it further, because it's by healing that you get your tubers. You heal it up to here, because this section will give you tubers. Once it's under the soil, it will give you tubers, and the roots will also give you tubers. So this we expect to give you minimum 10 tubers.
Can someone make a mother plant from that?
No, because a mother plant you must make from the Gymprazim platelet, so that it is pure. And this, because has been exposed to the environment, and this, when you harvest this, you make sure that it is it's not compounded. The leaves are not compounded. If you look at this, the leaves are already compounded. So if you try to make a mother plant from this, then what you harvest will not give you as good yield as they would when you have harvested from it. And now, this seedling is 0 generation, because it hasn't touched the soil and it has come directly from the laboratory. Once you plant this, you get the tubers. The tubers are 1st generation. Those tubers, you plant them, they give you 2nd generation. Then you plant them again. So this is what we call multiplication. Then you get your 3rd generation, which you sell to the farmer as certified seed.
Mm-hmm. So how many crops can a farmer get from the mother plant?
The mother plants, depending on how you look after it, because you must make sure that it doesn't age. You see, crops also have their physiology, so that if you leave this one to grow by itself without harvesting, it will think it has aged, and it will start developing tubers. So once it starts developing tubers, then you can't harvest from it anymore. But generally, a well looked after mother plant should give you a life of 4 months, 6 months. Yeah.
So how old is that one?
This is about 3 months old. Yeah, so we have done a lot of harvesting, and from one of these you probably harvest 500 seedlings from one mother plant.
How much does a seedling cost?
This seedling will cost you 10 shillings. And what I was telling you is that if you want to plant 1 acre, you buy 800 of this. That's 10 shillings, that's 8,000 shillings, and you plant it. After 2.5 months, you harvest the 1st generation seed. You plant it again. After another 2.5, you get your 2nd generation, and you're ready to go to the market with your Weah potato.
Top of the maintenance, the crop maintenance of just the potato generally, for those people who probably want to venture into potato farming.
Okay. If you want to venture into potato farming, and ideally you want to sell Weah potato. Weah potato is a potato that you sell for people to eat. You can start from 2 areas. You can start from here. This will, for the first 2 seasons, you will not be able to sell anything, because you are developing your seed and you are multiplying your seed, and you bringing down your costs, because certified seed 50 a kilo cost about 60 shillings. And this is 10 shillings, but eventually after 2 seasons it will give you quite a number of tubers. You can also start from a certified seed, where you go and buy that bag of 50 kilos at 3,000 shillings, and you plant directly, and you get your Weah potato. The 1st generation seeds will look like this. Will look like this. This is Shangi, and you will get about 20% of your tubers will be this size. 80% of your tubers will be this side. This is the best seed size, because then that is what you plant. Your 20% you can sell it as Weah, or you can consume it yourself. This you can see it has started sprouting. Shangi sprouts within 3 weeks after harvesting, and that's why most of the farmers prefer it, because then they're able to plant quickly. We have another variety, Unica. Unica is mainly used for chicks, and it grows very big. That size will be your 20%, and you'll have another 10% this size, but this is your seed. So your seed will be this size. And this also takes a long time to sprout. It takes up to 2 months, 3 months to sprout. So it is good for the processors, because once they buy it, they can keep it before it sprouts. Because once you get the sprout, for example like this, then you can't use it for food. So we are also selling in addition to selling the seedling, we are also selling the seed potato. You can see what we are selling. This bag is 50 kilos, and that's the bag that we are selling at 3,000 shillings. And then if you want to buy less than 50 kilos, we'll sell to you at 65 shillings a kilo, and this is ready for planting. The sprouts are good, they're very uniform. Shaggy is very common with most farmers because it's easy to manage, disease resistant, and it's green. Sectors that we have recently gone into is fruit seedlings. This is avocado. These are seeds that we grow. The avocado seedling from seed, and then when it's a little bigger, after 2 months, we'll graft it, and now we'll sell you a grafted avocado. So what you can see here is just avocado seeds, and a bit of them have started shooting. The other plant and seedling that we do is oranges. You can see this orange is about 2.5 years old, and you can see already the fruits are there. And it's a variety that is called Washington Navel. It grows this height. We've put it in a bag because we move around when we go to shows, but otherwise this is a plant that you can grow in your own garden, and it will give you oranges all year round.
Agriculture is the mainstay of Kenya's economy.
Juzai hata corona ikiwa watu wanakula mambo za shamba.
To me, initially when I was getting into this, it was not more of a commercial venture, it was more of a hobby.
But how do you make money from the agricultural venture?
We will do the processing locally here, so that what we are going to ship something which is value added.
Join me, Jackie Moore, Monday through Friday, only on Afarmers Media, where we tell you the story direct from the farm.
Looking to buy fresh farm produce from a reliable source? Then look no further. At Afarmers Fresh, we sell fresh vegetables and fruits, ready to drink healthy juice, as well as other local food items. Support our local farmers by purchasing food items from our shop at pocket-friendly prices. Try us today by simply calling 0700 292959 or 0700 293031. Afarmers Fresh. Freshness you can trust. At Afarmers, we have already propagated seedlings for greenhouses and outdoor fields at pocket-friendly prices. We also do deliveries all around Kenya. For any queries, orders and booking for our certified seedlings, you can contact us on 0700 292959. You can also visit our offices located at Milimani Kitengela along Isinya Namanga Highway.
Well, thank you so much for joining us again in another edition of the Evening Farm Drive. As usual, I love taking you to the farm. Yesterday, we talked about catfish farming. Today, we are doing something very different. We are talking about day-old chicks, brooder management, and everything to do with how to protect, to manage, to feed, to introduce your day-old chicks to a brooder. So join me as we get into one of the farms here. The same color. So there you have it. This is the poultry unit, Afarmers poultry unit. We are going to be telling you, we've just brought in the day-old chicks. We'll be taking you through the day-to-day management and handling, from feeds to the kind of water to the kind of vaccine, and how you're supposed to protect your chicks, even the poultry unit, how it's supposed to be constructed. We also have the hatchery unit. We'll be hatching some of the chicks. Keep watching Evening Farm Drive only on Afarmers Media, where we are telling you the story of the African farmer.
Welcome to Afarmers Poultry Department, where today we will be introducing day-old broilers from Kenchick. And as you can see, the brooder is ready. And I know some of you will ask, why is mine has corners? A brooder can take any shape, provided you eliminate the sharp corners, as we have done here. So this one is safe for the poultry. I will take you slowly on how to introduce the day-olds in your farm. And on to the first step, make sure the brooder is warm enough. It should be warm for the past 12 hours. Yes, in readiness for the chicks. The room should be disinfected prior to the chicks' arrival, as we've done, is now ready. And now we will start. Chicks, apart from coming from your farm, you can source them somewhere else. And one step, they're always having stress, transportation, and things like that, new environment. So you have to give them anti-stress on day one. And that's what we're going to introduce right now and give them in their drinking water. Like this one, today we are going to use Chick Start. It has glucose and some vitamins. These are 5 liter water drinker. And this one, they also can serve up to 100 chicks. I'm going to use 3 because we have 300 chicks. Just a spoonful. Then add some water. Always make sure don't add the powder, the water. Add the water to the powder for easy solvency. And the water must be clean and free of any dirt and must be maintained at that. So I just put that. As you can see, the water is now ready in the brooder, and you can see there's the drinkers, the feeder in an alternating system, where you have a drinker, feeder, drinker, feeder, drinker, feeder. Why is that so? Because a chick does not want, should not, and I underline the word should not, walk for long in search of water. The water should be near the feeder. That's why we alternate. Yes. This one, you always have a litter. This one is to prevent the wetness, and you can always turn it. And this one, after 14 days, you remove it and put a new one. You can put a cardboard, depending on your flooding system, because we are in a place whereby there's a lot of wetness. So you place cardboards below it, then now when you have the sawdust on top of it. This red light is to ensure the chicks doesn't strain while eating, because they eat at night and they also want to sleep. So they should not strain. And also, if you get white light, you'll blind them, because they have too much light. This one doesn't have much light, and it's produces enough heat for the chicks. Now we introduce the chicks into our brooder. They've just arrived, and we now give them just water for the next 30 minutes. After that is when we introduce the feeds. And for broilers, we will use starter crumbs, broiler starter crumbs. That's suitable for them, enhance growth, and what have we. And number one thing, always count your chicks when you remove them from the box into the brooder, so that you can know the exact number of chicks you will be having. Now the brooder is set and we have the chicks inside. We'll go throughout some of brooder management, what you'll have to look out for and to notice every single day as you wake up and attend to your chicks. These are broilers, and now in the feeding, the first 3 days are very important. Feeding wise, heat wise, for these 3 days, if they have cold, they will grow weakly. Any infection can happen within those 3 days. So management is very key. How they will eat. These ones, they will eat around 65 grams each in that span of 3 days. The first day you feed them 15 grams each. The second day, 20 grams each. And the third day, 30 grams each. And make sure they have enough water. And the water have the chick start or vitamins, as I said earlier. And also, you have something called liquid paraffin. Liquid paraffin is to aid digestion. Sharp corners are avoided in a brooder to avoid chicks huddling in one place, which can lead to death. That's what we are avoiding by sealing the corners. Heating system, ensure that the heat is enough for your chicks. And you can see by the behavior of the chicks. If they are huddling in one corner, just know the brooder is cold. If they are evenly spread, as you can see, means the heat is just okay for them and they are enjoying the heat. And if they are further away, pulling away from the heating system, just know the heat is too much for them. About to introduce feeds, and I was waiting for the feeding papers to arrive, but they've not yet arrived, so I'll be using, for the time being, I'll be using the printing papers just for a maximum of 1 hour. Then when the others come, I will remove them and place the right papers. The recommended papers are you can either use the brown and the soft ones that can degrade easily and be removed on the third day, or not later than the third day. It's supposed to cover around 40% of the brooder with papers. Yes, and this will guide them to feed, because right now they don't know what food is. You have to guide them on where food is and how to feed. So some feeds you will place on the paper. That's why you place the papers in here. Yes. My approximation, 1 liter equals 1 kg, and that's what I'm going to feed them. We are supposed to feed them 4 kg today. So I'm going to have them 2 kg right now. And after they finish, or in the evening, I will give them another 2 kg. Make sure your feeder is always clean and free of any dirt that might infect your chicks. Always feed your chicks quality feeds, and I stress quality feeds. There's a lot of feeds in the market, but the mixability varies. So some are quack, they just want to promote feeds. Others, they meant good for your chicks. So let's go for the best. In sourcing your chicks, always go for the trusted sources. Why am I saying this? Because the trusted sources, they vaccinate your chicks. The first day vaccine when after hatching is very important. The Merrick disease, the Newcastle, they need that for them to be stronger and more healthier. If you just buy from anywhere else, they don't give that vaccine, and you will miss a lot. They will start dying without you noticing what's wrong. This is Afarmers Media, and we will be taking you step by step in poultry management. You have the broilers unit, you have the cage unit, and much more. Every single step, every day and every week, we'll be taking you through the steps. Every single step and every single day here on Afarmers Media. My name is Ole Nkatet, and I love poultry.
At Afarmers, we have already propagated seedlings for greenhouses and outdoor fields at pocket-friendly prices. We also do deliveries all around Kenya. For any queries, orders and booking for our certified seedlings, you can contact us on 0700292959. You can also visit our offices located at Milimani Kitengela along Isinya Namanga Highway. Looking to buy fresh farm produce from a reliable source? Then look no further. At Afarmers Fresh, we sell fresh vegetables and fruits, ready to drink healthy juice, as well as other local food items. Support our local farmers by purchasing food items from our shop at pocket-friendly prices. Try us today by simply calling 0700-292959 or 0700-293031. Afarmers Fresh. Freshness you can trust.
Hi, my name is agronomist Ole Nkatet, and here today I'm on a cabbage farm, and I will be taking you through some of the common pests that attack cabbages. And our focus for today will be aphids. As you can see, I have a leaf here which has been attacked by aphids. And what does aphids cause? They circle on the leaves and make it curl. Yes, it's stuck and it's turning white, meaning it's draining the sap from the crop, which is very dangerous for your crop. So the best control you can use against this, there is the chemical and biological. You can go chemical way, where you use any acetamiprid to spray, or biological way, you can use ash to remove them. There's the ladybugs which eat them too. You can introduce them into your farm to eat them. That will be all for today. Thank you.
Welcome to Mutanu's kitchen. Today we're going to be making a very simple dish that is also fun to make in the kitchen. So we are going to be making whiskey chicken with colored capsicums. So the ingredients that we are going to use are chicken breast that we have sliced. I'll show you how to slice it. Then we have our colored capsicums. You can also add green capsicum if you would like. Then we have about 3 cloves of garlic. We have about 1/4 cup of whiskey and salt, tandoori masala, cooking oil, and black pepper. So you guys, when you're doing anything with alcohol, when you're cooking with alcohol, please remember that the alcohol content of the alcoholic drink that you'll be using, first of all, it should be at least not flavored with vanilla or chocolate or those things, especially if it's a savory dish. If it's a sweet dish, then you can choose different flavors, but because this is a salty or savory dish, we'll just use a flat unflavored alcoholic liquor. So this is whiskey. You can also use rum, but remember to choose an alcohol that is less than 40% alcohol to avoid any accidents in the kitchen, because anytime you're cooking with alcohol, it can cause a fire in the kitchen. So please be careful when using alcohol. To slice the chicken breast, you just hold it down like that, and then using a sharp knife, you just slice through lengthwise like that, as far from your hand as possible, to get slices that are about this thickness, not too thick and not too thin. So you've already sliced the others there, nice and not too thick, not too thin. So first we want to season our chicken breast. For the seasoning, we are going to use the 3 cloves of garlic, which I'm going to crush, salt, tandoori masala, and black pepper. So we'll start by crushing our garlic. If you want your garlic to crush to be a nice smooth paste, you can add in a little salt. So just a little salt, and then you crush it. So you make sure that it has no big bits and pieces, because you don't want to bite into a big chunk of garlic. Make sure it's all nicely so we'll just mix all our spice mix in together. The garlic, these were 3 cloves of garlic. You see they're nicely mashed, no big chunks. 3 cloves of garlic, 1 teaspoon of tandoori masala, and some black pepper, about half a teaspoon. Not too much. And then remember, we had already put salt in the garlic, so we won't add any more. That's enough. So you just mix this with about 1 teaspoon of oil for it to mix evenly. So once you've mixed it nicely, you've mixed it all nicely together, we'll just rub it onto our chicken. You can use your hands to rub it in. to dust my chicken with a little bit of flour. I'll use all-purpose flour, and this prevents the chicken from overcooking in the inside. So we'll just put a bit of flour and dust, just a light dusting to brown it nicely, and it also acts like a blanket for the chicken so that it doesn't overcook inside. It's still nice and moist in the center. So we'll just dust the top and bottom. Just a light dusting like that. You pour in about 4 tablespoons of cooking oil into your pan, and then when it's nice and hot, you can feel it with your hands. Make sure that it's nice and hot so that it gives a very nice sizzling, nice coat to your chicken. You put in your chicken. When they are nicely brown, you just turn. Nice golden brown color. You turn like that. The smell is amazing. So now we want to add in our whiskey. The chicken has cooked nicely, golden brown color on both sides. The center is yet to cook. So we want to add in our whiskey, and please, when you're adding in your whiskey, remember to add it in from a separate cup. Don't pour in with the bottle of your whiskey because that can be dangerous. So to add in your whiskey, you just move your pan from the fire, tilt it, then pour the whiskey over. Your fire is on full heat then. You put your fire and let it cook until all the whiskey dies down. So now the alcohol has all cooked down. The flame has died down because the alcohol has finished. So we can reduce our heat and let it continue cooking down in the sauce. So as it cooks in the sauce, and alcohol adds a very nice depth of flavor to your chicken. It adds very nice depth of flavor and it gives the chicken a very nice taste. So next we are going to add in our capsicum. We'll use about half capsicum for this recipe. The smell is so beautiful, very, very nice. Okay, so we just cut into strips, into very thin strips. We want to remain with a little bit of sauce. As thin as possible. Okay, so now our chicken has cooked. It's nice and ready. So all the flavor has now incorporated inside. The top side is nice and crunchy, the inside is nice and soft. So the alcohol has all cooked down. This is safe for children to eat also because all the alcohol has evaporated with the flambe. So we'll just put this chicken on the side. And then next we'll toss our peppers with the same pan because we want the flavor of the chicken and the spices and the whiskey. So we'll just put our peppers and a little bit of salt. About a quarter teaspoon of salt and some black pepper and some tandoori masala. And then just cook them through. So we'll also add in some diced pineapple pieces to make it sweet because the whiskey combined with the sweetness of the pineapple will give a nice sweet taste. That's enough. Make sure your salt is enough and your pepper. Okay, so now we can serve. Okay, so now we want to plate. We're going to use avocado. We'll just serve it with the side vegetables and side vegetable cooked salad. So we'll also use avocado. Wow. Okay, so avocado usually oxidizes very quickly and changes color. So to avoid that, we'll just pour in some lemon juice. Just pour on it some lemon juice so that it keeps the nice golden, the nice green color, natural green color, so that it doesn't turn black. So we'll just serve it like that. Just press it down like that and then put it on your plate. This is a very colorful dish. And you can just garnish with a sprig of rosemary. Then remember our sauce, the sauce that we had made. I had shown you guys how to make this in an earlier show. I had shown you guys how to make this sauce in an earlier show, the rosemary lemon vinaigrette sauce. It goes perfectly with this chicken. So we will just drizzle it onto the chicken. So thank you guys so much. That is how you prepare whiskey chicken with lemon and rosemary vinaigrette dressing. It is so delicious, so simple to make, as you have seen. So you can also have this with a side of carbohydrates of your choice, either potatoes or rice of your choice, so or vegetables, as I've chosen to serve it. Thank you so much. Until next time, I've been your chef, Chef Stella Mutanu. Please don't forget to subscribe and join us again for this and many, many more recipes.
Farmers. Agriculture is the mainstay of Kenya's economy.
Juzai hata corona ikiwa watu wanakula mambo za shamba.
To me, initially when I was getting into this, it was not more of a commercial venture, it was more of a hobby.
But how do you make money from the agricultural venture?
We will do the processing locally here, so that what we are going to ship something which is value added.
Join me, Jackie Moore, Monday through Friday, only on Afarmers Media, where we tell you the story direct from the farmers.